I don't know. We can do that. Put some of it on the other side of that yellow letter mag if you want. Okay.
About 50 feet back, the phone company just set up for the press. Watch behind you, cable coming.
At 3:57:25, more than 7 minutes before the crash, the pilot of Flying Tiger Flight 161 warned the control tower of tremendous wind shears.
This is Flying Tiger 161. Big 161, right center cross 311. Roger, gotcha up there, but I just highly recommend that you change the runways and land northwest. You have such a tremendous wind shear down there near the ground on the final. Okay, we're indicating wind right down the runway at 15 knots when you landed. I don't care what you're indicating, I'm just telling you that there's such a wind shear on the final on that runway, we should change it to the northwest.
At 4 seconds past 4 o'clock, 5 minutes before the crash, another Eastern jet, Flight 902, attempted to land on the disputed runway. Strong winds forced the pilot to abort and fly to Newark. He told the approach controllers.
Eastern 902, that's heading to 140, and we had a pretty good shear pulling us to the right and down, and visibility was nil out over the marker. Correction over the, at about 200 feet, it was nothing. Okay, the shears say pulled you right and down? Yeah, we were on course, and down to about 250 feet.
38 seconds later, 4 minutes before the crash, the controller asked the pilot of Eastern 66 if he heard the adverse weather report.
Eastern 66, turn left heading 220. Did you copy that, sir? Okay, 5 miles from out of market, cleared ILS, runway 22 left approach. Okay, we'll let you know about the conditions.
After that message, 2 planes, a DC-8 and a Beechcraft Baron, landed safely on the runway. 1 minute and 15 seconds before the crash, the tower radioed this message.
3 minutes, 2566, clear line.
That was the last communication with Eastern Flight 66. It crashed, the worst single airplane disaster in American history. At the crash site today, all that remained were scavengers looking for souvenirs. At a nearby hangar, federal authorities are piecing the plane back together. There were no final answers at today's press conference. Officials declined to say why the runway was not closed, saying that would be determined later. 𝗘𝘀𝘁𝗿, CBS News at New York's Kennedy Airport.
over to the left. And I just knew that the captain did not make this kind of a landing. I knew the man. I'd flown with him a lot. And, I'm sorry, then we was, right, and he managed to get out.
John Doe is the one survivor who has been unconscious since the crash. He was sitting in the rear of the plane and suffered massive second and third degree burns and a tremendous blow to the head that has left him comatose since Tuesday. What is known about John Doe is basic. He is about 20 years of age, 5'10" to 5'11" tall, and weighs in at a very muscular 160 pounds. Nurses and doctors attending feel they have a good likeness of him in a picture brought in by one person who had a relative on that plane and hoped that he might be the unknown survivor.
This looks like our John Doe. I would say it's a very close resemblance, age-wise and color-wise, and he did have sideburns like that, and he's of medium build, very well built though.
There are 3 other survivors in the burn unit with John Doe. All are doing well. All are able to talk and, to a great extent, remember.
As we got closer to New York, oddly enough, the plane picked up speed. Instead of the normal force you would feel, to see that when the plane usually it has that dragging effect. If you've ever landed on a plane, this time there was no resistance. It seemed like the plane was just zipping in.
We're coming in a typical low-level approach across the bay, and just prior to where would have been the runway, we veered up and to the left, and that's the last I remember.
The 4 survivors, including John Doe, apparently were all riding in the rear of the plane. Seats, Marchese and Van Winkle, had taken by chance. Chance, luck, fate, whatever, they are grateful.
I was in the very end of the smoking session, and this time it was good for my health that I was smoking. It didn't turn out all bad after all.
We did them. Janice, did you get a place for your John Doe? This morning we looked at him, you know.
I wish I could remember more. I can't remember enough because I feel whatever the impact was, I crashed into the back of my head and it stitched right at the
And 29, was it? In all.
Now it's 11.
Boy.
Well, I'm very fortunate 13 made it. Plane was full.
Yes, it was.
That's about as damn fortunate as one can get.
That's right.